If something unexpectedly happened, could you keep your pet safe? Well, for those of you that watch my videos, you know this is Xander, and he's a beloved member of our family. He often likes to make unexpected cameo appearances. But of course, when I want him in a video, does he want to be in the video? No, he doesn't. Okay, just imagine now, the power goes out. All of a sudden, the sirens go on, you get alerts, you've got to evacuate. Well, no problem, right? You've got your go bag for each family member. You're ready to jump in the car, but what about those faithful family members you may have forgot? That's right, your pets. So do you all of a sudden freeze and go, what do I do? Or do you start throwing food in a box and trying to get stuff and yeah, you're just not prepared? Well, you need to be prepared. And you know what this month is? It is National Pet Preparedness Month. So let's discuss what we need to do to keep other important family members, namely our pets, safe during an emergency. You know, when our kids were small, we experienced a house fire, a very large house fire that kept us out of the house for 9 months while they're renovating. And when it happened, the first thing is, right, get the kids out, get them safe. And then it's like, okay, we have 5 cats, one absolutely adorable, very overweight golden retriever called Max, and a cockatiel. And were we prepared to get them out and keep them safe? No. We tried to find the cats and we just threw them outside. We got the dog out. And the cockatiel, my husband put a towel on top of the cage and then put the cage down in the basement thinking, hey, it's going to be safe because, you know, the fire started upstairs. Well, as time progressed, Max, that golden retriever, kept trying to run back into the smoky, fiery house. Kind of like you hear horses do, right? Back into the barn. So we also put him in the car. And remember, it's winter. We live in Michigan. So we saw that this fire was going much further than just an upstairs bedroom. It was spreading fast. And there was a lot of water being poured in there, right? By the fire people that came from 5 different departments. And we finally had to ask a fire person to run down the basement. They actually rescued that cockatiel and again put it in our car, and we had to occasionally kind of start it up, so keep it warm so our animals could be safe. But were we prepared? No, we were not. And it's more than just having the pet go bags, but you need to have arrangements. What happens, like in this case, 9 months we are living in different hotels. We rented a condo for a while. We were told we can go back in our house. We can't go back in our house. It's not up to code, and back and forth. What do we do with the pets through that 9 months? Well, luckily, we had friends and relatives. My mom took the cockatiel, and some people I worked with took the dog and the cats. I mean, it was great to have friends and family help out. Otherwise, it would have been very, very difficult time for my kids not knowing that the pets are safe. Did you know that during Hurricane Katrina, over 250,000 pets were displaced or died? And a lot of it was due to lack of evacuation planning by the owners and by the rescuers. And the wildfires we just had in California, they figure 1,000 animals were displaced and ending up in humane societies or just as strays. And you know, 70% of US households have pets. But you know, I bet it's very, very few of that 70% that have an emergency evacuation plan for their pets. So prepare ahead of time. It'll give you peace of mind and you'll be ready just to grab and go. Before you start making your pets go kits, there's some things you should do. Number 1, if you can, microchip your pet just in case they get lost. And then you want to take some pictures of yourself and yourself as the owner with the pet. Keep that on your phone. And also make up like a sample poster, in case something happens. And you want to keep all your vet information and that poster and other things in your grab and go binder. Yes, when you leave the house, you should be taking each member's go bag and your grab and go binder that has all your important documents. And part of those important documents are your pet's vet records and vaccinations. And just make sure those vaccinations are up to date. It might be required wherever you decide to house your pets. Now, it's pretty common sense what you would need in your pet's go bag. I mean, you need food for at least 72 hours, water, very important, some collapsible or bowls to put your food and water in, and a leash and collar if appropriate, and some kind of container or crate for your pet. Our family has had a lot of pets over the years. I mean, I'm just trying to think. We've had mice, rats, guinea pigs, hamsters, rabbits, of course, chameleons, and I think it was a bearded lizard, fish aquarium, and of course, rabbits, chickens, cats, and dogs. And all of them might have some unique needs to keeping them safe when evacuating. For my cats, I like this top open option carrier. It allows me to quickly place them in the carrier, which, believe me, they do not like, and grab and go. And for your dogs, you might want to have waste bags. And of course, for your cats, you need some kind of litter pan and litter. Now, this is the disposable litter pans I use to grab and go, but you could also use one of those foil turkey pans that you can buy in the store. That makes a great temporary litter box also. And for your animals, what is their favorite toy? This can give them comfort. Take it with you. And of course, maybe dog biscuits, or for my cats, yes, this is crack cocaine. They love this stuff. So again, this could help them relax a bit in a strange environment. And maybe it's a familiar smell too, like the blanket they usually lay on. Now for my rabbits here, I'll take some Timothy hay, their food pellets, some water, of course, and their container, and our rabbit carriers. And of course, it's a good idea to take some absorbent bedding with you. Now the chickens, easy. Just take their food pellets in a bag and maybe some cracked corn and a way to give them water. But the hard part is going to be catching those chickens fast and putting them in some kind of crate. Now, I keep a large old blanket handy that helps me just throw it over and easily catch them. And then we have a large collapsible dog pen that would fit 4 or 5 chickens comfortable. And you might want to carry a tarp with you too, some duct tape and zip ties, just in case you have to make needed repairs. And I suggest that you have a pet first aid kit, again, ready to grab and go, just in case. Okay, so you've got the pets all crated up, you got their stuff, you got everything, including your family, in the car. But now, where do you go? Not every hotel accepts pets, especially chickens. Yeah. So do your research ahead of time. Find out what family members might be willing to help you take care of your pets. Find out what hotels are nearby and friendly to your pets. And I suggest you have a list of those family contacts and hotels printed out in the go bag. And there's a couple apps that I know of that could help you. Bring Fido and Pets Welcome. That can help you search for hotels or lodging in your area that are pet friendly, and it will tell you what size and what type of pet they will accept. And in some cases, even make reservations for you. But what happens when you're not at home and calamity strikes? Well, in that case, it's a good idea to have a buddy system with neighbors and family and friends that can help out and let them know what is needed and where the go bags are. But you can do everything correctly. And yep, one of the pets just escapes quick. When you stop at the gas station or whatever, gets out. What do? You've lost your dog, your cat, whatever. Well, in that case, that's why you have that little kind of lost pet poster, right? Printed up so you can make copies and put it on local bulletin boards and area shops. And you can also use, I know in our thing we have something called the next door neighborhood, and a lot of people post digitally on their, lost pet or found pet. So you want to have some resources in case something like that happens. I suggest having a 2-week at least supply of food for your pets, just in case. And of course, at least a 2-week supply of water. Because as I always stress, water first, then worry about food. And why? Well, the reason is some emergencies might cause you to actually shelter in place. I'm thinking we've had to do that with ice or winter storms. So you want to make sure you have what you need here. And talking about that, something else that happens often is power losses, right? So, and we live in the country, so you know what happens? Yeah, we don't get water either. The toilets don't flush, all of that. So you have to think about that too. And believe me, when it happens in the winter, okay, I can't go out for my chickens and find ice in their water container. They have to be able to have water. So we always have a electric water heater, plug-in one for our chickens. But if we lose power, well, we lose that. So I also keep on hand a small portable generator I can plug that water into, and my chickens will still have the water they need. And you may want to store some extra bedding or blankets, whatever, for insulation. So remember what I said, my family had a wide variety of pets over the years, and each of them might have had some unique needs you have to consider. I mean, if you have an aquarium, it's a good idea to have a battery-operated backup pump, just in case. And depending on your exotic pet, it may need a temperature control and specialized diet. So again, make sure you have what you need, even if the power goes out. And for bird owners, you want to have them in a draft-free zone, and make sure you have extra grit and cuddle bone and whatever else they might need. And of course, if you have reptiles, I know in many cases ours needed like a heated rock. So again, make sure you have a battery backup way to do that, or a small generator, because you don't want to have your pet die in front of your kids' eyes because you didn't consider that. Never thought what would happen if the power went off for an extended period of time. Okay, have I forgotten anything? If so, comment below. And have you ever had to evacuate with your pets? If you travel often with your pets, you have most of this information probably available. But if you're like me, well, other than going to a rabbit show, I don't travel with the rabbits, and I don't travel with the chickens at all. And my cats, the only time we travel is to the vet, and they absolutely hate it and meow or squall all the way there and back. So, depending on what pet you have, you might not be as prepared. So make sure, look over everything. Make sure you have that information in the grab and go binder. Be prepared, because you know what? Our fluffy, furry, feathery, scaly, whatever pets are members of our family, and very important members. So during National Pet Preparedness Month, make sure you are ready. Thank you, and as always, share the knowledge.